People are so judgmental these days. I can tell just by looking at them. I ran across that joke on the internet, and I thought it really kind of describes the spirit of our age right now. That there's just so much intolerance and judgmentalism, and so much pointing fingers at others rather than thinking about oneself. Now, it's not as if this sort of thinking and intolerance is new to our age. It's just it seems to have reached a crescendo, and we really need to take a step back. Now, Jesus dealt with the same sort of issues, and he describes a pattern which I think is important to listen to. He says, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy.'" And when he says you have heard it was said, that means that's not what was said, it's what you heard. Because the way that the Old Testament teachings were being characterized by people around the time of Jesus would excuse this kind of hatred, hate for enemies. But Jesus does not approve of that, and he doesn't think that's what the Bible ever actually said, although you can, of course, find isolated cases or scriptures that might point you in that direction. But the overarching message of the Old Testament is the same one as of the New Testament. "I say to you," Jesus says, explaining the Old Testament and providing us information about what the New Testament is all about. "I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." And that is certainly not the way that we have been acting in many ways in our society, particularly around the time of the election and forward. And there's just so many places in which we have had these difficulties with judgmentalism. And I just don't like it that we can't seem to get past that if I disagree with you, that I can still love you. And that as a Christian, I don't really have a choice. If I'm a Christian, I'm supposed to love everyone, even those who might count themselves my enemies. I don't personally feel like I have any enemies, but there may be someone out there who thinks that I am. And even if I did think that I had an enemy, my job would be to love them. My job would be to pray for them. And so when Jesus talks about this, he also gives us another example. He gives us the example of how God sees people. "So that you may be children of your Father in heaven, for he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous." And so he talks about the way that God sees all people and continues to love all people and to shower his goodness and his mercy and his love and his blessings on everyone. If we as Christians could do that, we could change the world.